Hi everyone, NUSensei here. Today we're taking a look at, well, I'm not actually sure what this is, to be honest. Now, this may seem like an odd intro for a bow review since we're holding the bow right here, but let me explain. There is a thing about traditional bows, especially those made in China and sold on eBay and AliExpress. One of the issues is that they are often sold under generic placeholder titles like traditional Chinese hunting recurve bow or something. It just comes with all these names and it's sometimes hard to find an exact brand name or model. Now, from what I understand, this is a version of the Bosenbows Archery traditional Song Dynasty bow. I believe Armin Hermer did a review about this, a different model, but different color, but same bow. And I believe this is a updated version. This version I'm holding is branded as the Bolide Archery Liuhuo. That was what was posted on the Bosenbows Archery page. Liuhuo is transliterated as forging fire, I think, which is quite a nice name, and it does sit with the fire motifs you see on this bow. So it's a little confusing to look for. I can't find a direct link to this bow. You can buy it directly from Bosenbows Archery, or if you find their eBay store, you can buy it from them there. This would be around $135 US, I believe. And you will find both the previous version, the Song Dynasty bow, which is an all-wood construction, and there is this version, which you'll notice is a more colorful version, which we'll look at in more detail today. So the Song Dynasty bow, as sold by Bolide Archery or Bosenbows Archery, is a laminate wood bow. There are several layers of wood and it is covered in fiberglass. So it's not a fiberglass bow, it is a wood bow and it does have a distinct wood feel. Now, something really nice about wooden bows, which when you see me shoot this, it looks really good and feels really good. Now, from what I understand, the main differences between the traditional song bow as sold by Bosenbows Archery and this version, the Liuhuo, is that this one has a painted back. So the limbs, as you can see, are brightly colored red and blue with lots of pretty patterns. There are birds and flowers and flame motifs, which suits the theme. This is nice. I know people buy bows for the aesthetics, and this definitely stands out. I do like how the flame motif just blends in with the black limb tips. This is quite a nice looking bow. Now, that said, it is a stencil. It's not a hand-painted bow. It is a thin stencil, and in fact, I've already noticed after a few days of usage, there are some distinct parts where it has scratched off. So unfortunately, it's not a resilient layer of paint, so you do have to be careful about this. That said, it does look fantastic. I do like the layers of the wood laminate as well as the black belly and the colorful back, and that is really remarkable. That is something which I would love to use myself. Of course, as a YouTuber, I have to impress with what I'm using, and this is definitely a visually attractive bow, and that is going to draw some heads, and definitely a good thing as well. Now, the other thing which I noticed with the Liuhuo is that it comes with tennis grip. Now, when this was shipped to me, it came with the bow, the string, a bow stringer, which is a little weird. You don't normally use bow stringers to string these bows. You normally string this around your legs using the step-through method. That's usually easier than trying to use a bow stringer. But they also gave me a pack of a Chinese-made tennis grip. And you'll see that on the bow, it already has tennis grip applied to it. Now, I didn't do it myself. If you want to take it off, you can. If you want to replace it or put extra, you can. They give you all the wrap you need, way too much tennis wrap. This is a little unconventional. You don't normally put tennis wrap on bows. Even modern shooters with Olympic bows tend to avoid tennis wrap. It's a bit too grippy. But what I've noticed is that it actually feels pretty decent. It's a strange modern twist. I don't think many people would think about putting tennis strap on a traditional bow. That's a bit too modern solution, but it does feel nice. I'll give you that. I'm just trying to reconcile the fact that this is meant to be a Song Dynasty bow with modern plastic tennis wrap. I don't imagine what they would say back then, but it does feel nice. And I think one of the complaints made by the previous reviews, I think Armin mentioned this in his reviews, that the grip is quite narrow. And without the grip, I would tend to agree. It is a fairly narrow bow. So if you've got big hands, I've got small hands, but if you have big hands, you might find it a bit too narrow. The grip does make a difference. It does still feel narrow, but it feels a little chunky in the hand. So that's probably a good fix. An interesting approach. It works. As with many of these designs, it does feature a raised skin arrow pass. So you place the arrow over this side. There is a correct way up in this case. And it does look nice. I did notice that the front of the raised skin isn't like fully complete. So there's a gap there. It doesn't affect the function at all, but I think some people might feel a little annoyed by that. But again, small thing, I didn't mind. I didn't look at it anyway. So that's completely fine. Apart from that, the bow does look wonderful, both belly and back. It feels quite nice in the hand, and being a slightly longer bow, it is quite stable. That's one thing I'll note about this bow. It's light, yes, that's typical of the Asiatic bows, but it does feel stable because of its length. So when I shot it, I felt that it was quite happy to sit in my hand and want to stay aligned, just because of the longer length compared to many of the shorter horse bows and Asiatic bows. But without further ado, let's actually see how it works, and I'll take a few shots. I'm quite surprised at how well this bow shoots. Like I said before, it is a wood bow, a wood laminate bow, not fiberglass. There is a natural feel to it. What I like about this is that when you pull it back, you start fairly stiff, as you would expect from many of these bows, but once you get past a certain amount, the leverage really kicks in. And I found drawing it back rather, once you get past here, you feel that it wants to be pulled back further, and I felt that to be quite intuitive to use. I felt that when I was drawing back correctly with a thumb draw, it really rewarded me from getting a nice full draw. So it felt really nice to do that. The acceleration was quite good given the leverage that you get from these long limb tips. Overall, I did find myself being quite pleased using this bow. I felt that the long limb tips for this design do make it quite stable. It's smooth. It does cast the arrow at a pretty nice pace. And I felt I really enjoyed using this bow. It's one of those happy bows, not the kind of bow I would use overly seriously. This is the kind of fun bow I would take out, kind of show off to people. But when you let someone shoot it, they'll probably be surprised at how nice it feels. So yeah, it's a good, affordable, traditional Chinese bow. I think that if you are getting this, you will probably enjoy using it. It's affordable. I believe it's about $135 US. My only gripe with the bow is that it's just hard to find. It's sold online on eBay at a cheap price, but you just need to know what to look for. This is technically the Bolide Archery Liuhuo with Chinese characters. So you won't find Liuhuo if you type it in. Even if you search in the Chinese characters, you probably won't find this bow. It's sold as a traditional Song Dynasty bow, and there are links to eBay stores, and you pick the color. I think there's like wood and there's red. I think it's the red version. It's really confusing. If I do get a link from the manufacturer, I'll definitely post it in the description. But yeah, I just wish these bows were available more widely through a store of some kind or some distributor in a different country, because these are really nice bows. Like I said, many people don't want to spend hundreds on handmade wooden bows, and the factory options are really good starting points. You can get good bows for $100 or less, and this is about that price point. Look, if I started Asiatic archery, I would definitely be happy to start with these kind of bows. My first bow was like a $400 bow, and that was a nice option. I used it a lot, but this is really a different kind of bow, more of the traditional Chinese brand rather than the Mongolian bows or Turkish bows. And for that reason, if you're looking for a Chinese-style, traditional Asiatic bow, then these bows are good choices. I really enjoyed using it. It was comfortable, pleasing, and happy to use. And if you choose this bow, you'll probably be happy with it too. Anyway, this is NUSensei. I hope you found this interesting and helpful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.